cease and desist letter is became useless than the toilet paper because either people can abuse it and get away with it, or people actually do need it, end up not having the law helping them at all. Hello there, how's today? Ame Gakita. That's alright. Today, definitely you guys can understand from the start that I'm actually going to talk about cease and desist lawyer letter. But actually, more so that when you think about it, right, it kind of like made me questioning, like, so I actually put this up as can I even trust a Westerner at this point of time? But at the same time, there will be a little bit of Eastern topic that I do want to add in, kind of like add in as based on what I do know. But on the other hand, you can't really say that can I really trust a Westerner at this point of time. So previously, I did a video that called anyone can abuse the system of YouTube, report copyright or whatever that is. And the only issue is that because people can misuse it, often more than not, people that don't require it end up have to kind of like go against it, or people who actually do need it and not having to unable to use it at all. And you really kind of get yourself thinking, like, is it really something that we should be addressing? It's like, is YouTube system similar to cease and desist in a way, or if that is so really cease and desist, is it even helping people in the first place? So the topic we have to kind of like sit down and ask ourselves is that previously there is a game journalist from Toka2 who come up with sorry, Kotaku, because I don't want to call them by the right name, but yeah, apparently one of the senior editor actually sent JT-san a cease and desist letter, which is kind of very stupid when I do agree with a lot of JT-san's statement about how a lot of things seems to be questionable and how it seems to be weird. And I actually kind of like think that JT, like personally, based on what I do know of cease and desist, is that technically JT-san can actually do use the cease and desist against Alyssa-san instead of Alyssa-san using it on JT-san. So it's kind of very, very stupid, but we have to come down and sit down and why cease and desist letter, why I would actually say that it's actually kind of being abused or it being misused, or at the same time it became worthless than the toilet paper. Because at the end of the day, JT-san can just use that piece of paper and wipe his butt with it at any point. So cease and desist, anyone who wish to know in a more simple term, right, is that it's basically, in a nutshell, a warning letter. And what kind of warning letter is basically if one party, or mostly like business or artists or anyone, it can be anyone, all right, even if you want to protect yourself, if you feel that there is another party who is committing an unlawful act, it can be like copyright infringement, it can be sexual harassment, it can be thinking that they are doing something that is illegal under the table against you, you can send that as a warning letter. It is not a form of telling them to stop immediately, but it's actually more so to tell them that, hey, you know what, it is happening and that you want them to stop, which is the reason why it is a disease, not technically telling them to stop. The only reason why I say it can tell them to stop is that often more than not, early, as I mentioned, if you send this to a stalker, to a harasser, to haters, or whatever you want to along the line, it won't technically stop them from doing so. They can continue to do it if they believe that they are being so-called not wrong or being protected by the law themselves. So often more than not, the one who send the cease and desist letter have to provide with actual evidence to indicate that the other party had actually committed the crime with the reason as stated, which is the reason why when a lawyer letter do send to in terms of like cease and desist, right? Like in this case, when Alyssa-san sent the letter to JT-san, it started out with defamation and harassment. So when that actually do indicate as such, it's often more than not do indicate that why they think that JT-san did a crime, which is technically anyone would know defamation is against the law and harassment is also against the law. So when you have that, it often mean as such. The problem why I say that it seems to be a problem is that from what I do understand of this whole ordeal, it seems like Alyssa-san is the one harassing JT-san more than JT-san harassing Alyssa-san. And there is like evident proof, there is picture proof, there is video even proof from JT-san that he is not harassing Alyssa-san. It's actually the other way around. There has been cases of Alyssa-san going to as far as to stalk JT-san, and if the cease and desist is to be sent to the right recipient, is actually the one the client should be receiving it, which is the Kotaku senior editor Alyssa-san Mercante. So the thing is, right, when you think about it, right, cease and desist letter is often more than not can be used to sort someone to harass or stalk. But from what I do know, JT-san never seems to be the type of person to go and harass the other party. It's the other party that is harassing him. So I don't see the reason why people who actually can just misuse the whole damn letter and just go with it, say, hey, like, you know what, let's just send a letter and get a quack lawyer to, like, I don't understand what is with the quack recently. There is the quack Japanese consultant, there is the quack Japanese historian, and now we got a quack lawyer at this point of time. Dude, I even hear of a story where a quack lawyer who is not an actual lawyer end up winning a lot of different cases against actual lawyer. So I guess that people who study to be a lawyer, got a lawyer lesson, got a lawyer letter, permit along the line, and end up most of them are quack at this point of time, unless I'm wrong to say that, because from what I do know, I'm not a lawyer. From what I do know, I don't have a license as a lawyer, but yet often more than not, I write letter better than a lawyer for apparently. So not to brag about it, it's just that sometimes when you think about it, right, it doesn't mean that when a person who is educated, got a lawyer license or whatever along the line, and not able to write a proper lawyer letter if they can't even understand the whole ordeal. Which is the reason why when, for me who know how to write a document, the best way is that you have to write with in mind that what is the thing you want to state. And often more than not, you have to write in a roundabout way, whether we all like it or not. Document officially always tend to write in a roundabout way, which is the reason why it kind of like, sometimes when people ask me what, when I talk about, like, you can hear in a lot of my random chat why I talk things in a roundabout way, or sometimes I give with evident and then go slowly going down so that people don't misunderstand what I say. It's actually, in a way, lawyer letter tend to be to protect the lawyer themselves, as well as to ensure that the client are being protected as well, so that there is no some sort of discriminancy or some sort of lie within the letter, so that people cannot misuse it. But the thing is, right, often more than not, I'm being receiving a lot of lawyer letter, not to myself, but actually based on what being sent online, is that a lot of them seems to be very, very questionable, including the one that was sent to .pad404 by Mr. Beast. Everyone who do know about Mr. Beast situation is that, yes, the allegation against Mr. Beast is really crazy, to the point that it's kind of interesting that often more than not, there is no indication or reason from Mr. Beast to indicate that what .pad404 or Dawson, if I believe his name was, as indicate that he has did a crime law. Because often more than not, cease and desist letter, you have to start out with what they did wrong. It's just like when you send a cease and desist letter to, let's say for example, if I have a hater or if I have a stalker in real life, and if I want them, be a him, her, or them, to stop stalking me, often more than not, I can ask a lawyer to write an actual lawyer letter to indicate the person to stop doing so, because stalking is against the law. So if I know the other person had indicated such, and if I have photo evidence or message, like let's say for example the person is stalking me by sending me a law letter, I attach them to the cease and desist letter, is indicate that there is proof of the person is stalking me, knowing who I am, knowing what they are doing to me, or even sending death threat along the line. Often more than not, cease and desist letter can be sent to that recipient to ask them to stop. But it is just nothing more than a warning letter. It is nothing more than just telling them to stop. It do not, however, protect the one who is sending the letter at all, even whether we like it or not. I know there will be some lawyer trying to debunk what I'm saying, but can we deny the fact that there is often more than not people end up not following the letter, and that they have to go with the court case itself, and until when the case became ridiculous that they decided to either settle it out of court or just getting the case thrown out of the window. The problem is that often more than not, if the police do step in to help out, it will be fine. Even if we send a lawyer letter, even if we send a cease and desist letter, if the case do indicate the other person is acting on the crime, then I think it's fair to say that, hey, maybe the so-called police can step in and help us along the line. But from what I've seen a lot of time, even in Japan or even in Singapore, often more than not, a cease and desist letter does not help much at all, because it ends up just being used out as a toilet paper, people wiping out their freaking butt with it. So to me, I don't think it's becoming any point, like if people who actually do need end up having the letter not helping them at all. And the funny thing is, right, well, why I say it's also became worse is that, not saying that dog pack way of handling the cease and desist is not true, is that Mr. Beast seemingly abusing the cease and desist letter against Dogpack. Because the thing is, right, anyone who know the allegation, and it's not new anymore, how Mr. Beast's allegation with a lot of proof provided in Mr. Beast's own video where he did a lot of questionable thing, it was public evident that he did a lot of questionable thing, and that instead of like addressing the whole issue, instead of like answering all those issues, because they can't come up with a proper answer, they can't come up with the way to counter each point, they decided to just deframe or discredit Dotpad 404. It's kind of like, even interestingly, is that even like in this case for the JT-san, Alyssa-san's case, is that she's trying to frame herself as the victim against JT-san, when you look at it, it's actually the other way around. It's JT-san being harassed and defamed by Alyssa-san. So it's kind of like, in the way when you think about it, people can just either misuse it, and do the law actually say that, hey, you can't misuse the system? No. They still get away with it. They can just say that they can act on the part that they are believing they are being the victim when they are not the victim. And in this case, GT-san can actually be called the victim, where he can counter sue against Arisa-san for stalking, harassing, and defaming him. Even for Dogpack 404, to me, I personally think that if Mr. Beast sent the letter, the cease and desist letter to Dotpad 404 in bad faith, and as well as that there is case of him sending people to go after Dotpad, then if Dotpad is able to provide the evidence of those proof where Mr. Beast is acting on bad faith, he can actually do counter suit against Mr. Beast, because that's basically going on the point of what cease and desist letter is all about, is to prevent people from harassing and stalking them. So in this way, technically, the one that received the cease and desist letter end up being that they are supposed to be the ones sending the cease and desist letter to other people. But obviously, because they are actually journalists, or not, although they are not journalists, I would like to call them people who is trying to give out what information to help people in understand the real life scenario. So let's call them talker. Those two talker are actually, I won't call Yapper. Yapper is me. Or another armchair Yapper along the line. Is that often more than not, when a person do talk, often more than not, we have to kind of like classify, are they actually talking in good faith, or are they talking in bad faith? Often more than not, when a person talk in bad faith, we can understand that cease and desist letter can be used against them, because it can be considered defamation, or information that is considered as or classified as misinformation. So in a way, if they are doing unlawful thing, that can be considered as such, and that sending a cease and desist letter to them is not wrong. But in this case, JT-san and Dogpad 404 are doing it everything within their right, with actual evidence and information that is provided to the public, and commenting based on that, then they did nothing wrong. And the people who send cease and desist letter to them is actually just trying to put out a silent letter. So they kind of like make cease and desist letter a silencing letter, not as actual cease and desist anymore. It's just another, it was supposed to mean to use as a warning letter to stop people from doing such crime, but like I mentioned, if people can misuse it at this any point of time, it just feel very, very weird, and it kind of like watered down the purpose of the cease and desist in the first place. And often more than not, what a lot of people didn't understand is that cease and desist, while it can help to stop people from harassing and stalking, I have heard cases in Japan where even a Japanese people who have received real life stalker or cases, sending letter to the recipient on trying to ask them to stop doing such, end up it doesn't even work. So it really kind of like get the point of like if the person, let's say for example, if there is a stalker of a Japanese idol and the Japanese idol send the cease and desist letter against the stalker have the right to stop and then they can move on with their life. But if the stalker decides to just keep on stalking the idol and even go even worse, then obviously they have to get the police to step in. But often more than not, the law does not protect the Japanese idol at that point of time or the victim at the time. So often more than not, I have heard a few cases of cease and desist letter in Japan that end up becoming worse because the stalker or the harasser or the whatever person is end up doing things worse, and police, even when by the time the police step in, is already no longer a cease and desist situation, but actually more so on the crime situation. So that would be that situation. If I do cover out some Japan crime myself, so probably one day I will cover in a random chat about cease and desist, why I feel like cease and desist is really becoming bad at that point, and why I don't really want to put this as the series why I can't trust some Westerner, because it do happen in the eastern side from what I've seen. Cease and desist letter, personally to me, is supposed to send as a warning letter, as a warning shot to prevent people from doing such thing. But often more than not, from like recent case, anyone can just end up just sending the letter and just get away with it, which I think that there should be some sort of punishment against people who send cease and desist letter in bad faith. So personally, my advice to JT-san is that hopefully he can counter sue back. Not saying that he should ignore the letter. It's actually more so that from what I look at it, if he had evidence to indicate that Alyssa-san had been stalking him, trying to do a lot of things to him in bad faith, like let's say for example, if he is able to provide the evidence that Alyssa-san has sent a letter to his previous working place to fire him or send letter to his friend, to his wife in bad faith along the line, he should technically do, like, indicate to everyone that hey, this she is the actual stalker, she is the one who is doing fermentation along the line, then it should be used against her, not her using it on us. So from how I look at it, often more than not, cease and desist letter has really kind of like became the YouTube system in real life. It's just that YouTube people can just abuse the copyright system to strike anyone to, if they don't like it. It's just that cease and desist letter is just the real life version of YouTube. But hey, if you want to check out that video, the link will be in the description below, same as this video as well, or any information that is as I provided on screen on the all will be linked in the description below if you guys want to check out them more. But if not, what do you guys feel? Do you think that cease and desist letter has become worthless, or do you have cases that seems that cease and desist actually work? We can discuss it further, but hey, whatever I say today is technically my speculative thought, just a random chat. But if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or however you want to take it, but it's totally all random in a way. But if not, the one thing I hope that is not random is hope you guys have a nice day or night. Bye.